Hello everyone, this is Aries Trivia. Welcome back to another round of 8 matchup here in our subscriber game tournament season 3, as we have our 3rd seed Sleeping Phoenix taking on our 6th seed Meng. And given that Sleeping Phoenix is the higher seed, he has opted to attack for his first siege battle. And let's take a look at their pick and bans. So as always, they get a first round of 3 bans each, and taking a look at their bans, we have Cao Ren being banned right off the bat by Sleeping Phoenix, does not want that infinite heal, and it's responded by Xu Huang, Yan Baihu, Wu Tugu, Huang Fusong, and lastly Sima Yi. So the pick ban here are very interesting. I think ending the infinite heal is definitely a viable strategy, but I think Cao Ren's probably scarier for the attacking side to use than for the defending side, given that defending side does not have infinite time to attack. So it's an interesting pick here. Yan Baihu obviously worried about the invisible units coming out to harass any sort of siege weapon they might have, and Huang Fusong just to stop those potential defender of empires. Lu Zhi obviously still could recruit them, but Lu Zhi is obviously a much weaker general. Then looking at Lu Meng's bans, Xu Huang, all around strong character, Wu Tugu, same thing, and Sima Yi, I guess he's a little bit worried about Whitewater, even though I don't think he's going to be that great, given that it's just Stifling Deluge with 100 range. And then looking at the first round of picks, we have Fa Zheng being locked in for Sleeping Phoenix, and Yuan Shao responded by Lu Meng. So Fa Zheng is definitely a very interesting pick. We mentioned in our earlier matches that Fa Zheng has a very weird interaction with Siege Battle, and this is the battle that we're going to discover that. As if he bumps into the wall and cannot progress any farther, he actually will have infinite range on his mock ability. But even if that bug is not an issue, seeing Fa Zheng should scare most players, because you know you're going to get mocked on the defensive side. So essentially he can mock you over the wall if you're defending the gates or defending the wall. That's definitely something to worry about. Now Yuan Shao is definitely a great pick. The morale boosts essentially create unbreakable unit. He is also a decent commander. And there's always the threat of picking up one of his sons so that he can have familial conflict and that increased attack speed, which has been very good in the past, even in siege battles. Then the next round of bans, we start off with Lu Meng banning Pei Yuan Shao, and responded by Sleeping Phoenix banning Zhang Liao. Now, these bans are both very smart. Pei Yuan Shao is one of the few characters who's not a strategist that can recruit trebuchets, which are very valuable for siege attack. And Zhang Liao has a great passive for the weaker side of the army, which in this case, due to limiting funding, is always going to be the starting defensive side. So that extra melee evasion boost is super useful if you're fielding an all infantry comp, and if you're fielding someone like Yuan Shao who is going to boost morale, you don't want that to stack with the evasion buffs on Zhang Liao, especially since Lu Meng have played quite a few evasion comps in his first round. Then moving on to the next round of picks, we start with Lu Meng here, and he picks Wen Chou, who definitely is a strong general, champion, lots of health, and also has a good roar ability. The only issue being that he shares the same roster unit as Yuan Shao, so unit diversity might be a bit constrained here on Lu Meng's side, but at least with Fates Divided DLC, they do have a lot of units available to them. Then the response here is Sima Yi, which is quite interesting because I actually don't know any reason why Sima Yi would be picked here. Maybe for Infantry of Jing, but that's not really worth it. You get a champion health. I don't think his abilities are that amazing either, so definitely an odd pick here. And then for the final round of bans, we have Taishi Ci and Lu Bu. So Taishi Ci obviously have Venomous Shot, which can be very good against infantry, and he also have Hail of Arrows, which is great against generals, so definitely a decent ban here. And the response of Lu Bu makes total sense, very powerful general, good smash abilities. And that leaves the final pick for both players, which will be done blind, and that will be Huang Shao for Sleeping Phoenix and Zhou Tai for Lu Meng. Zhou Tai is really odd, as he did get his Undying Vow fixed in the mod, but it's not strong, it's just usable. We did some interesting changes to it to kind of keep the flavor of the ability without giving him the infinite heal. And we'll take a look at his actual ability once we do hop into game. But before we do that, let's take a look at the units that's brought with this composition of generals. Now, looking at Lu Meng's composition on the green side, we see that he has opted into 1 Tiger Guard on Zhou Tai for the guard passive for the generals, and there are 4 Raider Cavs, which is an interesting choice. I actually don't know what these cavalry are for. If they are meant to take out any potential trebuchets, 1 or 2 is probably enough. Defensive funding is really tight, so you actually want to try to get as many units inside as possible, and if you're suiciding a unit to potentially take out an unattended trebuchet, it shouldn't be 4 units. That's a huge sunk cost there, and they're not very high quality cavalry either. Then we have 1 mercenary archer, a little bit of fire damage, potentially a little bit of range response, morale hits, and then Yuan Shao with 4 veteran northern spear guards. Not a fan of those units. I think they're very expensive for their worth, and could have gone cheaper because Yuan Shao could have boosted any unit with 50 points of extra morale, and they would have been decently fine as well. So definitely a lack of unit on the defensive side. I think a lot of players make this mistake where if you're on the defensive side, you really need a lot of cheap unit. You don't want to go expensive because your funding is just so little that if you go expensive, you're not going to have enough units. In this case, since Yuan Shao is picked, a lot of cheap unit can be turned into very strong units just by having him giving distant courage those units. Regardless, a pretty interesting composition here. 5 spear units, 4 cavalry, and 1 archer. Then looking at Sleeping Phoenix side, we have nothing but infantry. No siege weapons, no anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how he plans to get into the settlement and how he plans to advance through the settlement. There are a lot of turtle units available. There are 6 units of infantry of Jing on Sima Ai. Very interesting choice. They're just basically spear guards. There's nothing super special about them. Slight increase in defensive stats for a slight increase in cost. Not really anything amazing about them. Then we also have 6 Dongzhou Bing on Fa Zheng. So they will have fire arrows because they're on a strategist and they can help burn the towers down, which is great. And then finally, Huang Shao has a mix of units. So I think there are 3 Yellow Sky Heralds, Unbreakable unit, Militia of Virtue, also Unbreakable, and 2 Yellow Turban Warriors, just throw in there probably for cost reasons. And let's see how this actually plays out on the battlefield, because Sleeping Phoenix is going to be looking to brute force this army in, and also use Fa Zheng's ability to whittle down the enemy general, and in response against this many infantry, Vengeful has to do a lot. Vengeful will probably have to dismount and do a lot of slam abilities and also try to roar. Some of these units are not unbreakable, although infantry didn't have high morale, and there are 4 unbreakable units on the yellow turbans, but everything else probably can break given the right amount of damage, and we'll see how that plays out. So hopping into deployment, I want to make a couple of things clear. This battle has been really hard to commentate over because there's been some drama behind the battle. Essentially, as a spoiler, I know before the battle even starts, Sleeping Phoenix is going to win the battle. Not entirely fairly, and it's going to cause Lu Meng to go on tilt and decide to never play against Sleeping Phoenix again. And he voiced that concern with me and essentially forfeited from the tournament and also left my Discord. So there's definitely a bit of drama. He has time constraints due to personal reasons, and this battle just took way too long for him. He mentioned that not only is the battle 40 minutes, there's also 20 minutes that Sleeping Phoenix spent deploying this army, and he was very frustrated with this entire setup. Plus, he was not expecting how Fa Zheng's interaction with the wall would go. So there's a lot of reasons why he was very unhappy about this match, and he just wanted to take himself out of the tournament. I told him I respect that decision, and I'll review the match, and I looked at the match. Now, although those things that he stated were true, there were good reasons behind it, and I don't think Sleeping Phoenix was being malicious about any of this. It was not an intention to kind of drag out the match, and I'll kind of explain it as we go, which will give enough context to the situation, as well as to the match, just to make it a little bit interesting. Now, it took 20 minutes to deploy, because Sleeping Phoenix was trying to do riding on the field. This is a S, this is a T, our channel is called Serious Trivia, and this is our channel logo, the question mark with the siege weapons at the end. He was memeing, and he did this at the cost of basically exposing his army, and at the cost of getting the deployables right on him, and they're going to be shooting at him this whole time in the first maybe 5 minutes of the game. Because if you thought just doing the channel logo and the question mark is enough, there's more. So he's going to do sort of like a parade setup, halftime show with his army as they're getting pelted by siege weapons. The general's on the side. What I mean by I don't think Fa Zheng being malicious is he does not use Fa Zheng early on at all. He could just keep spamming that mock starting even now. You can see the question marks being dissolved as we're going to get sort of a halftime show here at the beginning of battle. And they're getting clobbered. These siege weapons are doing a number. They're super accurate, the ones on the wall. They don't miss, basically. And all these units are going to get crushed. Now, these cavalry can't do anything. And as he's doing his little formation change, we can look at Zhoutai's ability. Undying Vow has been changed to an active buff that can be activated once you drop below 50%. You get Unbreakable, immune to fatigue, and you don't gain any more fatigue afterwards. That's it. If you heal above 50%, this goes on a 30-second cooldown. You can use it again afterwards, but you can't overheal to get this bonus. And we get our second change here as we finish that talk. Now it's ST1 Sui. This is Chinese characters, same as Bonsai. So yeah, I'm getting a salute. Basically, we got ourselves a halftime show in the beginning. He's getting hit. I don't know if you get kill counts on these. 26, 32, there's more ammo. No formation is going to help him. Now, this is the main strategy that I think Sleeping Phoenix is trying to pull, which is using surprise attack on Huang Shao, which gives this group invisibility from stock. They're checking right now, so I don't know if they'll bump into them. Actually, that has not discovered. We would have seen a discover icon if he actually discovered them. It's last 60 seconds, and the goal is to sneak Fa Zheng. Well, they saw him, so the tower's shooting. To sneak Fa Zheng up to the castle and hit the units behind, because that's within 50-meter range, and trying to basically widow out the general and force them to come out and fight. Essentially what Mach does. There's still a couple of seconds on that. They went back to stock. They're looking for him. And he's just going to go over here and tap one of them with the Mach ability. Once he's in range, he Machs 6k damage. And he gets discovered as well because he's close and he's going to get shot at. And that 6k is not preventable. This is a point-and-click ability. It's very nice in offense against a siege battle. That's kind of what it's designed for. The problem here is once this ability is used this first time against Lu Meng takes a very drastic approach here. And I actually don't know what Lu Meng was trying to do with this defense, because you see the enemy have all infantry. This is probably the setup for you to defend the walls, but I think he's opting away from that and trying to defend not this hallway either where you get all these towers, but I think he's trying to camp closer to the center. So there's only 2 units here patrolling. Really all of them can be outside because there's no threat coming back, and they stayed in ST Bonsai for a long time as well. They're literally just getting hit. So I don't see any maliciousness coming from Sleeping Phoenix. I feel like he's just having fun with the tournament. Anyhow, he's currently waiting for the cooldown for the next surprise attack, obviously. And once he's ready with that, he's gonna do it again. These 4 cavalry just doesn't have really good range, but the really easy counter to this is just put the 4 cavalry by the wall. Because he has to come within 50-meter range, or he will try to get as close as possible. So if the cavalry just sits outside, there's nothing really Sleeping Phoenix can do to use this strategy. So I feel like that's just the easy counter to even to invisibility. Just put the 4 cavalry here. You can put the units here too. Like, what's this army gonna do? Nothing is fast in this army. If you see them come over, now the shots are now targeting the generals because they're out of range. The trebuchet was the only one who can hit this, and now they're just wasting the shot. Should be turned off. Right? You see the invisibility, they're clearly coming for this. Now this is where the bug gets discovered, because he's pulling all his generals out of range, which is how this interaction should work. This is a fine play, but the code on this, because there is no range indicator programmed into the actual ability, he's going to try his darnest to reach the guy, and once he physically cannot move forward as he bumps the wall, it will actually activate the original target. So he selected him like way back here, And then as he moves forward, once he cannot actually register any more movement, it will go off and Yuan Shao is going to get hit. So this is the exploit. I am not sure this was intentional, but we'll keep watching because I can kind of explain why I decided this match was fine the way it is. Essentially, these cavalry should just be spread out around the walls. That's the only way he can use this ability anyways, even with the stock. So I can kind of understand why the generals would go back and hide. I don't understand why all the units have to go back and hide. This map was picked to stop Wu. Do not go towards the unit. Just stay around the walls. But the reason why I picked this map, as I mentioned before, I really don't like players on siege defense camping the center. It's a very silly strategy of basically not defending your settlement. I feel like it defeats the purpose of siege battles, especially on maps where there are a lot of towers around this area. Sometimes there's a drawbridge. I actually picked quite a few of these maps before. But for this season, I decided to pick a map where you just have no tower coverage near the city center to punish this type of strategy. Because I don't think this is a very good strategy for siege battles. But regardless, we have this setup here. We have the cavalry kind of patrolling outside. They're looking for their next opportunity. And here's where I think it got slightly abused, because now you saw the infinite range. Now, of course, it doesn't, you know, there's no rule against you using something you discovered in the match again. You know, you picked Fa Zhong for this reason. And that's another part. Oh god, we got another one? Did we miss it? No, he just pulled the unit together because they went to fight. Fa Zhong was picked first in the pick ban tournament. So, you know mock was happening. And there were basically a lot of picks to try to counter that afterwards, and it just was not used. So it's hard for me to kind of judge on this setup. If Fa Zhong had been the third pick, and this had just been a very sort of dirty play in that regard, then that's another thing. I feel like if this was picked first, it was also very deliberate. You can kind of tell by the moment Cao Ren was banned first to take away infinite healing that Fa Zhong was being designed to do this. Here we go. And Yuan Shao got hit again. Yeah, these two were the two that I think, well, starting with this one, where things got really abused, because at least he was targeting him on the way back on the previous attempt, but this one clearly he knows he's going to be out of range, but because of the way the wall interacts, he's going to go for it. There's actually, I'm trying to think, is there anything, I mean, the easiest solution is actually just put the generals right outside the door. If they stand here, then that just does not happen. And we're going to speed this part up because not a lot of action from the units. He will go start burning some of the building, but he's basically going to wait for the next ambush. At this point, when he comes back with the generals, Meng, I feel like he should have just walked out with the units, because he, like, even if you don't know how the mock interaction is happening, you know he's going invisible. There we go. You just need to stand outside and discover the invisibility, and that will be just fine. I think one area most players don't use in the siege battle is actually the area right outside of your settlement. Right, so this up to here, there were, I think you can say, 2 uses of the mock that were really illegal on Yuan Shao. This one's totally fine because he's using it within range outside. The first one I feel like was just the discovery of the bug, and the second one was sort of definitely exploited use. And then at this point, there was no attempt to kind of just, like, you know, hide Fa Zhong and have the secret weapon to winning this. Sleeping Phoenix fought this, and not only did he fought this, he lost Fa Zhong right here. So Fa Zhong dies. So that strategy is done. And at this point, if we look at the both sides, 2 generals versus 3, certainly, you know, Yuan Shao has taken 3 mocks. The last one, fair and square. But you're still going to be unbreakable. You're still going to provide the same distant courage. And I don't think it's going to be an issue. Furthermore, because Sleeping Phoenix overchased here, Huang Shao actually will get the gate bug he's gonna chase into the gate, and now he can't get out. At least for a little period, because they open up the gate again as they charge out, and he can now get out, but he's not trapped, and he gets killed here. So, looking at these two fights here, I feel like at this point, things are at least even, if not favoring Lu Meng in this fight. Yes, you're going up against a lot of infantry, but the enemy generals are all dead. They have no solutions against the tower except for trying to burn it with fire, but he's not even using turtle formation from the infantry of Jin to do this. This is just a straight march up, and he's dead. So, up until now, at this point at least, if we pause the game, I think it's fine. I don't see a reason why this needs to be fixed. Because it's not only everyone's game, I actually think it favors Lu Meng a bit after this result. There is a okay slam ability, targeted strike's not super good, but if he dismounts, it's okay. And Ventral is fully healthy. He has hamstring, he has 3 more roars. But this is the puzzling decision. Instead of trying to defend this when you have a clear general advantage against units, like if they charge out with the 3 generals, it's 3v1 in the general fight, and also none of the units can stop them, and he can stop this burn. But instead, Lu Meng decided, I'm gonna pull all my generals into the city center. And the units. Basically giving up this area. I don't understand why give up this entire tower setup. Because they could just charge out and fought this. I don't see why they can't. There's no reason why these 3 generals can't beat this. I mean, it's only Sima Ai. Does not exactly strike fear into anyone. Like, maybe you lose Yuan Shao in that fight. And during that fight, the 3 towers are going to be helping you too. There's no turtle formation. They're getting shot as they're doing this. I don't know why the units can't muck this up. So that was a really puzzling decision, and I feel like that's what threw this fight. Like the attempt to guard this fictional city center and giving up all these tower advantages, because you come in with less 3,000 less, and you have all these towers to help you, but they just weren't used. And Trebuchet did 100 plus damage. I think the other one did less, but Trebuchet, there's like basically 1 full unit getting killed on 2 of these. So things definitely evened out. 2 generals lost versus, you know, no generals lost, even though Yuan Shao is kind of depleted. And you can see there was nothing malicious about this, because there finally we get turtle. Like, where was this? And at this point, when all these outside towers are gone, they should have stepped up and shot these first, because they have less range, and you can actually burn these first. And Sima Ai can actually crack the door open with his weapon. It'll be very slow, but you don't have to climb. And you don't have to get fatigued. But none of that happened. Yeah, we'll speed this part up, but alright, they shoot at that one, good for them. It did not, oh there we go, that caught fire finally. And he did not go hit the door. This just feels like a waste. Could have been fought here with these units and generals, with the general advantage. Versus all infantry, you can always get out. Oh, triple chanters, I'm wrong. I thought he tripled Yellow Sky Heralds, so this is even worse. These rout very easily, so the only unbreakable unit is Militia Virtue. Yeah, then the Roar is very winnable. It's minus 30 on the Roar. These units have like 32. Only infantry didn't have high morale, and yeah, I don't understand this decision. And now when they're getting climbed, he comes out. I don't understand. Only 1 general, 2 generals? Why not fight with the unit? This is like a great hallway to fight. So your units are permanently fatigued after climbing. Alright, Ventral comes in, try to defend the gates. Really pointless against all these units. And you're not going to get a good hamstring. Yeah, you need to be dismounted to get a good splash on that. He could get dismounted, it's just really not worth it at this point. Yeah, this is also wasting the enemy arrows. They're auto-firing. Yeah, the roar. Wrong target. Should have roared the ones in the back. Infantry are the ones that can withstand it. Looks like Jotai either voluntarily... looks like his horse is running away, which means he's dismounted involuntarily. Oh, they kill this. They guard the square. Good for them. But then they give up on it too. Like, there's endless flood. But if the infantry was here, you can definitely defend this gate. Plus, all those units have turtle, so you don't even have to worry about this arrow damage. And you get these tower to help you. As you can see, the tower's going to start shooting. The cavalry is not the solution here. They're all spear. Jotai shouldn't be scared. Jotai should actually lose about 500 more health so he can activate Undying Vow. If he does not lose his health and does not activate Undying Vow, he does not get Unbreakable, and the problem becomes if settlement damage starts stacking, he actually could rout before he can activate that. So he needs to fight. Yeah, now the cavalry just got thrown away. There's no turtle usage, so these towers, once they step in, are going to actually shoot and actually kill things. You can see, they're dying. The Unbreakable Militia Virtue just got sent. Full send and die here. Now there's only one of them. The tower's having a hard time finding the target. But he's going to get killed soon. Wow, he is dodging everything. There we go. We spoke too soon. We jinxed him. Oh yeah, you can see there's no ability usage, no formations. We're just going to run up. And there's no resistance. What is this? Those units could have shot these towers. That's finally in turtle. Alright, so they're going to take this for free, or they can just shoot them. Either way works. No one's here to stop them. It's going to come down to whether the roars can knock out the units. There's obviously one Unyielding Earth that can kind of protect the infantry. Now they're burning these down. They're probably just going to capture it anyways. Alright, burning the rest of the town, definitely a good decision. You want to stack this up because the enemy's going to lose morale. Of course, Yuanshao being alive means nothing will break, but eventually if Yuanshao dies, that's a different question. Or if he gets into melee combat. This unit's been left out there for some reason. I mean, there's one mercenary archer. I don't know what its job is, but we are basically going to get Town Burning 101 here, which, as I mentioned before, is the design of this siege defense. We went highest density, highest development to encourage the burning of the settlement. Ventral coming alone. Trying to hit one of these guys. I mean, sure. Why not bring a friend? Alright, trying to do the square formation. Hit and run. Waste some ammo. Not too bad. I don't think you want to hit and run those. Maybe one of the Chanters? Should be pretty free. Drive by. Scenic route. Yeah, it didn't do anything there, just went by. Burning down the city center. I mean, it doesn't do anything, just makes the settlement damage go up. In smokes it goes. Yeah, I just don't understand this defensive attempt. I do wonder if they will take a, left and right approach or just go one way and be more crowded. Jotai is stuck at this very awkward health level, 13k. Start with 25k. You want to be 50%, so another 500-ish. That's what he needs. I mean, with Yuanshao staying alive, Distant Courage is not going to rout, but hopefully he gets things done. Yeah, we're just going to get the methodic burn. Minus 20 morale is the highest it will go. At 100%. It's probably never going to get there, because there's a good half over here. But 50%'s very reachable as they advance through. And they kind of have to burn these, or else the tower is going to get their units. So they're just doing their job. Nothing too crazy here. Not the right unit to shoot at. You want to target the Chanters. Easy to rout. Okay, smoke screen usage. Yeah, try to shoot these. But it's 1v3 on both sides, so it's not going to work. They have shields. Not a great target here. I mean, if the cavalry leaves Yuanshao, they're going to break. Alright, they're going to fight one side, which is the right choice, because you have the advantage of them splitting up. So just fight one side, win one side, and then go from there. Alright, activate. Activate, please. Use your ability. Oh no, use your ability. He's getting poked down so hard. There we go. I think the mistake here is he needs to pop in, use his targeted strike, and then just pop out instead of staying in there fighting all these infantrymen in together. Now, Sima is doing a very smart thing. Threaten the middle, force them to pull back, and then they sort of have to fight both sides. This is just too little too late. You know, defending area, this tower's all burned down already. And what is Yuanshao trying to do? Like, you don't need this many crowding. Like, if you're doing choke, 1v1's fine. You can 1v3 and try to use your more premium units to defend. Yeah, the threat is on the victory point, right? You take the victory point, you actually do win. If you can hold it. And these mercenary archers ranked up to rank 5, just very useless here. Alright, getting a few hits in here. Getting distracted by enemy units coming after Yuanshao. Yuanshao's kiting him away. Can we get any sort of targeting over here? Can we help? Ventral. Ventral's here. Stop fighting units. Alright, they got their evasion boost. Yeah, now Jotai is being told to run, and he gets killed. Should just fought him. Roar, okay, not terrible. Unbreakable answer, good choice. And running away. Didn't get away too cleanly, but now he's kind of stuck in the middle of a lot of units. Maybe a hamstring usage right here would be pretty good. The units are coming back. They kept a few there. They pulled a couple back. Yuanshao just needs to sit tight in the back. Just sit tight in the back. What's he doing? That's risky. I think Yuanshao's much more valuable just in the back. This is a winnable 1v1. 16% evasion, much less health. This is just... He does not need to be here. Yeah, that just... Hamstring usage against the general. Not smart. You just hit him. Just hit him. You got this. They squeeze the unit through. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know what Yuanshao is trying to do here. They're actually losing the point. Or almost losing the point. No one's on it. Someone just has to step on them to actually take the point. Yuan Shao realizes this and go back. Alright. Hamstring. That's a good use. Killed a lot of unit there. Getting distracted. He's trying to get back on his horse, I think. And then trying to charge Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao gets a couple free hits here. Oh, no free hits. He does get back. And then I think he's just going to charge Yuan Shao here. Makes sense. Wen Chou's never going to catch up now. Turn him back to Wen Chou, maybe? Oh, he's not going to outrun that. That missed, actually. Oh, no, it hit. Getting knocked down. Yeah, once he's on his horse, I think it's kind of over for Yuan Shao. There's not a lot of space to run here. And he's dead. Immediately, units start routing. And Wen Chou eventually will be army lost. One last roar attempt. I think a little too late. He got a few of them. This could have been useful before Yuan Shao died. He had tools to beat these. They're being pulled back. Yeah, but when you get pulled back, you're just taking free hits from behind. That's not all of them. Oh, they're not gonna make it. And eventually will just get army lost, I'm pretty sure. Yep, never gonna catch the guy on horse. Binding Fury. He's on the chase command. Alright, he's finally coming to attack. And they lost the points. It's a 200-second countdown now. Now stop trying to fight the guy you can't catch. The other solution is just pull out his bow and shoot him. Okay. And we have an end. So, that was a very difficult match to judge. And I think in the end, looking at how it played out for the second half, I don't feel like Fa Zheng's Mach was really an issue in this battle. That, in my opinion, did not determine the outcome of this fight at all. Like, certainly, Yuan Shao would like to have another 12k health back, but I don't think that would have impacted the result of the match. Just the way things turned out, abandoning the defense. It was very winnable up until that point. I think not fighting in the area in front of the settlement obviously would be unwise, giving up all that real estate to a slow burn, losing the settlement, most of it, losing that 10 points of morale for no reason, and then committing at the very end out of the position once they're close. I think that's all factors that people need to consider. But anyways, that will end the matchup between this pair, as Lu Bu has officially conceded, and Sleeping Phoenix will move on with just this win, as we now await the other two pairing tomorrow. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, and see you all next time. Bye!